you take off the stem end, just like that. And then you cut down. This onion's a little sideways, but you go straight down so that you have two even halves. And then you peel the skin off of that. White onions are usually easy to peel. I buy in bulk, and so I end up with yellow onions. They're a little harder to deal with. But then you have this guy, right? So you still have your root end over here. That one was a crooked one, so it's not a great one to demo. Let me show you this one. You want your root end to stay intact because it's going to hold your onion together when you cut it. So here's your root end. Onion peel. Okay. All right. So have onion halves. Lay it out on your cutting board, and when you're cutting, you're really going to keep your fingers up and away from the blade of the knife. So you're gonna really watch what you're doing. I tend to go a little quickly just from experience. Okay. So I'm going to slow way down for you guys. So you're taking your knife and you're going to make vertical slices. No, not vertical, that's vertical. Horizontal slices. So hold it down, put pressure on it to keep it against your board, and you're going to run your knife towards that root end, and then you're going to stop before you get all the way there. Then you're going to come up, maybe, what is that, 1/4 inch? Not much. And you're going to repeat. If you're doing a large dice, you may only do one or two, but I want tiny, so I did about 4. Then, and you're still not coming all the way over to this root end, you're going to take the tip of your knife and you're going to slice it this way. I'm not used to working this slow now. Suddenly I got awkward because I'm slowing down. Then, next step. And if you have little bits fall off, don't worry about that. The next step is hold your hand here because you're keeping your fingertips away from that blade. And because there are so many slices, it's a little bit tricky, but it's not impossible. You'll get used to it. Slowly come down this way, and that's where you get those beautiful little minced pieces of onion. And the more you practice, the easier this gets. I've probably cut 500,000 onions in my lifetime. But whenever you want, I only want half the onion, so I'm bringing him over here. And as you get towards the root, it can get a little tricky because it wants to splay apart. Just keep your fingers where you can see them and you're aware of your knife, and you'll be fine. So that, boys and girls, is how you mince an onion to get those beautiful. Now, if I were at home, I would go to my chickens, because my chickens love a bell pepper. But I'm not home, and these people don't have enough good sense to keep chickens. So there's no chickens. All right, when you cut it, so cut his head off, pull out the ribs, and then cut it in half. Okay. I've seen a lot of people make this mistake. They will try to cut the pepper from this side. This skin on the pepper is a little bit tough, but the skin inside is very tender, which is why when they do like roasted red peppers, they will char it and peel this off, right? But in this case, we're going to dice it. We're looking for these ribs. So put it with the slick side down, and you're just drawing your knife through it to make little matchsticks. When I get to this rib, getting rid of that. That's the bitter part. Okay, and a lot of people, if they don't like bell peppers, it's probably because they've bitten into one of those, you know, a piece of rib or something that was bitter. Now this last one wants to run away on me. See? Isn't that nice? So if you're doing cutting up vegetables for a veggie tray or doing a relish type deal, you can stop right there with those pretty matchsticks, because my kids will take that and snack on it. Not all of my kids. Boone doesn't like to eat his vegetables. He's probably back there going, Mom. Okay. So once you have your little matchsticks, actually my hands are little, so I think I have more control if I take a few. And you simply run your knife this way. And you never pick, the tip of your knife doesn't ever come up off the cutting board. It's also a measure of control. It's easier to do what you want to do, and everything turns out perfectly. See, how pretty? Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? All right, we gotta come back over here in a minute because I got potatoes boiling. All right. We just keep going? You want to just keep going? Because I need to drain my potatoes. Okay. And it just dawned on me, I don't know where your hot pad is. And traditionally, Boston baked beans need molasses. And we thought we had molasses, and it turns out we don't have molasses. So we're going to make a little substitution, and I'm hoping everybody up north isn't going to just come after me. Because no, we don't have molasses. We do have honey, though. So we got our onion, our onion and our bell pepper, and we're stirring that in.
Maple syrup.
What did I say? Honey?
Yeah.
It's maple syrup. All right. So what we're doing is we're creating a sauce that these beans are going to bake in. And we've got our oven back here at 350 degrees. So with that onion and bell pepper, we want about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. So about right there. And we want a good hit of garlic powder. And we started these beans off about a tablespoon. We started these beans off this morning. It was 2 pounds of navy beans. You can use Great Northerns if you want. I'm going to give it a good teaspoon and a half of black pepper. And because we brined them, they're already pretty well seasoned. But always taste as you're working. We're going to add a little bit of salt, but it's not going to be much. Okay. So we are using maple syrup. I actually prefer grade B maple syrup. This is grade A, because apparently that was what was on sale. Use what you like, though. If you like the grade A, use it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons. Okay. And we're stirring everybody together. Now we have a couple choices here, and I think I'm probably going to have you grab me some tomato sauce. I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar, but we don't want these super sweet. We want a balance in here, right? And I'm just going to double check what that maple syrup did, so I know. I'm actually going to put another slug in there. A slug is a measurement. There. Altogether, I would say I used 6 ounces of maple syrup. That's a very exact measurement. So we had 4 tablespoons and a slug. All right, so we're getting the tomato sauce, but we're going to add some ketchup. 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup, all together. And this is going to create that sauce that we're going to bake down when these go in the oven. All right, one last little thing. We want another little hint of sweetness, but we want it rounded. So we don't want just pure maple flavor. I think that would make it a little one-dimensional. Did you find me some tomato sauce?
No, Well, where'd you find the last can, isn't it?
It was in the pantry.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna working on some tomato sauce. So brown sugar, because I like when you have dishes that contain some sweet, but it's rounded. It's just not pure sugar. There's some depth. And I will say about brown sugar, it does have some molasses in it, so maybe I can be forgiven if I use a little brown sugar. So I'm only going to put about 1/2 cup in there. Well, if I can get it out. Oh, it's stuck. So about 1/2 cup. It's stuck on the lip of the bag. Okay, turn the bag over, goof. All right, there we go. There. Fine. Did you find it? No. Tell you what, you come stir this together, and I'll see if I find it.
Yeah, I got plenty of diced tomatoes.
I don't want diced tomatoes.
I don't know how many cans we actually bought.
You know what? All right, that's funny. Apparently you don't have any more. I had the one and only can. Whoop. I'm glad I didn't just kick over your camera right there. So apparently that was the one and only can of tomato sauce. So we're gonna add some more ketchup. And again, I'm just double checking our seasonings as we go to make sure that we're on track for what I want. That's gonna be good. Now, because tomato or ketchup has a pretty distinct flavor, so I would say all told we've had a cup. Because it has a pretty distinct flavor, we don't want to overwhelm it with ketchup, so we're just going to go easy. And our last thing that we're going to do, I'm going to move over to the stove to show this now. I want everybody to see the amount of liquid that's in here. You want enough for it to be nice and saucy, but you want to bake this down, right? We're going to bake it at first covered, and then we're going to uncover it. Lastly, here is half of a raw, and it bakes down together. I think it makes it a little too greasy. So what I did was I rendered the bacon, cooked it about halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway. A lot of the bacon grease rendered off, and I just got rid of it. Not all of it though. You do want a little bit of that fatness, that richness against the sweet and the savory that's already in here. All right, that looks pretty good actually. We're gonna give it one more taste, just to make sure that we're on track with our seasonings. And this time I'm gonna taste a little of the sauce with it, so I know what we got. It needs a hint, not too much, a hint. Oh, my camera going? A little bit of salt. We're stirring this in, we're throwing this in a 350-degree oven. And for the first hour, I'm gonna leave the top on it. And then I'm gonna pull the top off to let some of that sauce will almost reduce and become nice and sweet and sticky. All right, guys, this is going in the oven. And I'm gonna pull our chicken out of the brine. But it's not. Okay, I need like a tray.
Another piece of chicken.
There's our white sauce chicken.
Okay, we're gonna put our other type of baked bean on a plate.
All right, got you right here. So this is one we did from scratch. We did a video on how to brine off dried beans, and we just used navy beans. And we put this together with ketchup, onion, bell pepper, maple syrup. I don't think I used mustard in this one. Salt, pepper, garlic powder. And that's what we've been doing all day.
Now, folks, we worked on that 12 hours. No, say 12 o'clock, 6 hours.
Now, wait a minute. We did watch a couple movies.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We watched
You know, actual cooking time, maybe what, two and a half?
maybe 2.
But we're also doing broadcasting,
Playing with the dogs.
You know, if you got the recipe, I'm sure you could do this whole cooking maybe
I could do this in about an hour and a half. Yeah. Not including the brine time. And not including the brine time for the beans. Those you throw together, that throws together in like 10 minutes, and then you walk away for a while. The rest of it, hour and a half, no problem.
Now, I'm dying to try your chicken.
It's hot.
And
Now wait a minute, that's a U-sized plate.
I'm gonna let you.
No, you're gonna trade with me. Daryl will fix a plate for a 5-year-old that's that size.
She says I'm cooking for a middle linebacker.
Yeah. It's hot. You need to let it rest. It needs to fit. Okay, never mind. All right, well, I'm going to fix a plate and eat. Ben? Oh, we lost him.
Let me try a bite of this competition chicken.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm just not going to do any more on camera because I've already eaten everything on the planet on camera.
Okay, folks, we're ending our broadcast for today. We want to thank everybody for coming by. Thrill Billy Gourmet is a huge success, a championship, knowledgeable, wonderful cook.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for allowing me to broadcast you today.
No problem.
Go to YouTube, put in Jan Charles or Thrill Billy Gourmet.
Yes. Or barbecuesuperstarz.com, right?
Yep, barbecuesuperstar.com.
There we go. Will you tell Booney to come on in?
Okay. Kelly, we got a plate. We got a plate. Come and get you a big plate. Yeah.
I can't eat much more. Oh my God.
Yeah, we really ate a whole full serving.
I've been sitting here making plates. The kids call those pretty plates when I'm taking pictures. And they're like, can I have the pretty plate? But we've been eating the pretty plate.
Here, Boone, I'll give you this plate and I'll take the chain chicken out for you.
He can't eat half of that, Daryl.
Okay.
I think I'll take some potato salad and chicken.
There you go.
Thank you.
Take which one off that plate? Where'd the rest of your chicken go? Oh,
Oh, right here.